sort of reflect on what you wouldn't want to do. So whether that be go to the gym or go for a run, and then cut that in half. So see half of that task and maybe do half of it or do a quarter of it. And then journal that. Keep track of that, because then once you, in 2 weeks, slowly build up from there, and then you realize that 2 weeks ago, that was tough for me, but now look where I am. That sort of that feeling of progression, it positively reinforces that behavior.
There's a story about a guy who was finding it tough to go to the gym, and he started off by making it a non-negotiable just to enter the gym. He'd go for 1 minute. Yeah. Just to scan the card and leave. Do that for a week. Yeah. If it's literally so difficult for you, make it so easy that there's no excuse not to. Yeah. And progressively, it may take a month to even get any progress, but going from 1 minute to 20 minutes is much better than going from nothing to nothing.
Or going from an hour to 5 minutes. You don't want to go out there and do the thing that was really difficult and then be negatively reinforcing the myself terrible. I thought I was embarrassed. I embarrassed myself, and then never do it again. Yeah. And I think, but it can be, if you go in for 1 minute, you probably do feel a bit embarrassed. That's a bit shameful. Yeah. But it's where you put your attention, isn't it? Yeah. That's why I think writing it down and reflecting on that is so important. It's irrelevant what you're actually doing. Putting your focus on the progression that you're making. Yeah. For your AMCC, for just longevity in life, I think it puts you on the right path.
Alright guys, welcome to this episode of SCULPTED Podcast. Today I am with Jack in person. Yet again, this is the first in-person podcast, seriously, as co-host.
As a co-host, yes.
As we're
married. We're married.
Now, yes, correct.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, precursor to our 40th birthdays.
Yeah.
Well, your 43rd and my 40.
Okay,
40, yeah. Wait, no, it would be my 39th birthday.
Why?
Because you would be 4 years older than me on your birthday. Because you're August and I'm September.
Yeah, but surely it would be your 40th that we're going off, not my 43rd.
You think so? Okay. Yeah. All right.
It's not my 43rd birthday.
Yeah, we adjust to the lowest denominator in the room.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So it'd be on my 40th and you'd be 43.
I thought we were taking it seriously from now on.
No, this is serious.
This is not making it.
No, this is making it because they know about us getting married at our 40th birthday.
Good lord.
This is making it. Okay. But today's episode,
if you haven't switched off by now.
if you're still listening, what the episode's actually going to be about, because we're about 3 minutes in.
Yes.
Talking about getting married at 40.
Yeah.
Not very sculpted of us.
Maybe it is. High performance couple, that's why.
Fact.
Yeah.
We're talking about physical fitness, which is related to becoming the best version of yourself. And the 3 topics or areas that we're really focusing on is the longevity that exercise gets you, the quality of life, and then additionally the health benefits aligned with mental clarity that we both feel very aligned with through a lot of the things that we do, which is why to us it's a non-negotiable every single day. Yeah. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be every single day, but some sort of exercise per week, whether it's 6 days, 5 days, whatever it is a non-negotiable. And talking about that, it is very aligned with sculpting. Now, Jack, have you got any anecdotes, references, or anything like that in your studies, personal experience that you can attribute to physical fitness?
I think, we'd probably both agree with how we pursued football. Yeah. With like training and everything and like working our bodies really hard, it was like that, it has just become a part of our life now, right? Yeah. And it almost feels it's harder to take a day off from training than it is to like just train. Yeah. And even now that our like pursuits have changed, starting off your day with exercise for what it does mentally than physically. Facts. Yeah, it almost like it starts the productivity. You know you've achieved something difficult. Yeah. And I think like and that can be at any level, whether it's gym or run or a walk or like just building back up health. Yeah. It's just, I think that's why it's so important.
Would you say that there's a correlation between doing something very difficult or doing something somewhat difficult and being more productive?
I would. I think, and it's about momentum. It's once you know that you've achieved that thing that's difficult and push past that, then everything from then on is a bit easier. Or you fulfill that narrative that I can achieve difficult things, and that it's about giving yourself more evidence of that than the contrary.
Yeah, I very much agree. I didn't run for a week when I started to only do, let's say, just the gym.
Yeah.
And I said to the people who helped me with like my program, so people at work, I was saying how I don't know if I can just give up running, because if going to the gym becomes the hardest thing in my life, anyone can go to the gym.
Yeah.
70-year-old people are going to the gym.
Yeah.
And that's difficult.
Yeah.
Going to the gym can't be the hardest thing. So I tried it for 1 week and I was like, no, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then I started incorporating runs. And it's not difficult to do a 4-kilometer run, but it's more difficult than going to the gym.
Yeah.
So if I can at least do that, that was one instance where I'm like, yeah, I got to do runs.
But I think that's because we use it so much for mental clarity. Yes. Whereas maybe you more than me, because I'm always injured now. But for the longevity piece, like eventually you actually you can't do a tough training session all the time because then your body will break down. And then what we'll speak about as well is health is the foundation to everything. Yeah. So it is almost like striking that balance between doing that thing that's really difficult, but then also training for health as opposed to training for, that mental clarity that you achieve. Yeah.
It's, as you said, it's difficult to find where, because the other thing about physical exercise, and that's one thing that I think we both can relate on, is like, it's very easy for us to get addicted to doing too much. Yeah. Yeah. I had to set boundaries. I said, like, to the people who I worked with, they're like, do whatever you want. Like, just, do a double session here and there. I'm like, no. Sounds nice to do a double session here and there, but if I do a double session one day, for the rest of the week, I have to do another double session. Yeah. And it's not just, a one-off thing. Yeah.
And because it was our priority with football to be like the physical training was such a priority. Yeah. And we used to train 2-3 times a day. Then now that I would enjoy that and pushing my body to those limits. But now that's not what I'm actually focusing on. Yeah. Like it is, you do have to restrain yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that like, it was easy for us to train. Yeah. I actually never missed a day of training willingly. I missed days of training due to travel, but I'd always compensate by skipping a rest day that week. Yeah. Yeah. I think you'd be
it would have been the same.
Yeah. And that's our whole football careers. Yeah. For me, 5 years, short-lived. For you, how many years?
Too many. Yeah, as my knee can vouch for. Too many years.
Yeah. And it's...
But I think that's why the 3 points that you made are so important to remember now. Because, and that's for anyone. You don't have to be an elite athlete. Yeah. That's why physical exercise for everyone's so important, is because with that perspective of mental clarity, longevity, that's why you need to do it, not because it needs to be some competitive thing that, that you need to feel impulse to do.
And it's very easy to get caught in the competitive loop there. Yeah. Because a lot of it is ego driven. And to me, you can drink.
No, I'm not drinking.
Okay. Don't want to spill it.
Yeah, like last time. Insert the clip.
You don't have to necessarily worry about those intrinsic or dribble.
Cut.
I would never do that with a guest, but just because I had to do it.
Let me just make that a timestamp. And like I believe that competitiveness is all ego. Yeah. And it's very easy to do that when we are people who would probably be further than the average athlete because of our fitness level was probably much higher than even just a normal athlete. Yeah. So it's like for us to be competitive, it's not.
And we took pride in that as well. Yeah. We took pride in our physical activity and the amount of training we did. Yeah. And that was the ego part, right?
Oh yeah. So my 35 resting heart rate, I'm not living that down.
Yeah. So it is, and I think it's an important reminder for both of us too, because I know for me for sure, I can get consumed by that old mindset of, I need to train twice today, or I need to keep pushing myself when maybe it's not good for my body or it's not important to what I'm trying to achieve. Mm-hmm. So I think it is a good reminder for everyone.
It can also be unproductive productivity because it's like
it's the biggest thing.
Yeah, because it can take away from doing things that are actually useful, and it's weird for us that exercising can be procrastinating. Yeah. Like normally procrastinating.
But how can you tell? What are the key indicators to see that it's being unproductive.
Maybe I would think that the limits is a good thing for us. Now, that's maybe just a niche thing where having a limit's actually helpful, where for some people they need to even get up and going.
Yeah.
So for them, it's like, just start small.
And I think planning it out as well is a big thing.
Yeah.
And whether that be either side, like limits for us, or like if you need to build up, almost planning, this is what I'm going to do. The non-negotiable aspect of it. Like, today I'm doing this, and like limiting yourself to that, even if you feel like your body can do more, but building that positive momentum and knowing that you've achieved that.
Yeah. I think that some people probably get caught in the loop of analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
Where you're just continuously planning.
Yeah. Wait for the perfect program. Wait for yeah.
And that's a fallacy, I believe.
Yeah.
Because there will be no perfect time. It's the perfect time when you start doing.
Yeah.
There was a podcast that I listened to recently. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but it was talking about the perfect entry quite often is just now.
Yeah.
Because you'll figure out everything later. Everyone has to start somewhere. And especially, you know what it was? It was the real estate stuff that you were talking to me about.
Yeah.
It's better to be in the market.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's starting off at walking, it's better to be walking than doing nothing.
That's how you learn. Yeah. And what's the worst that can happen? You're still at the place that you are now, right?
Yeah. Maybe we can talk about that analogy a little bit more, or example.
Yeah.
So basically, actually, do you want to go on you can articulate it a little bit better than me.
Yeah. So in terms of, for the actual analogy, it was for real estate, and it's about not timing the market. So trying to guess when the perfect time to enter is, or the perfect time to guess and like get lucky. Yeah. But it's about time in the market. So almost entering and having faith and like just doing the process more than waiting for the right time to just get the outcome. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's because time in the market, it's an appreciating asset.
Yeah.
Which means that the time spent out of it is more destructive than time in it. So you could be in a negative market and that be more positive than actually being out of it.
Because of what you learn as well.
Yeah, because of what you learn, and also just because it's an appreciating asset over time.
Yeah.
It's got the track record of it, at least.
Yeah.
It may not be appreciating at the time, but it will show, most likely, because that's just how real estate works, and that's coming from someone who knows nothing about real estate.
Yeah.
So I might be wrong, so don't listen to advice. But for the sake of the analogy, it will probably go back up, which is important. Yeah. So fitness is the exact same, because it's an appreciating asset over time, but it depreciates the longer you're outside of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. That is the same momentum piece, right? It's giving yourself evidence and like building that discipline where it's harder to take rest days than it is to train.
Yeah. Which is tough, because a lot of people would say that's a bad spot to be in, but as we also will allude to, it's much better to be on the extreme end of over-exercising than under-exercising.
Yeah. Because
under-exercising will... That's the dog. We're in a house, so that's just what happens around here. Under-exercising is much worse than over-exercising, even though both aren't great. And I actually think that over-exercising is quite difficult to get to, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But over-exercising, or quote-unquote over-exercising, is where it's just unproductive for your lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'd rather that person than the under-exerciser.
Yeah, and it says a lot about the person as well. If they, regardless of what exercise they do, if they're achieving goals, or if they're if they're overcoming something difficult every morning or every day, it says a lot about them as well, regardless of what exercise they do. So I think it is the mental clarity you get, and also the proof you give yourself that kind of applies like holistically to the rest of your life.
Proof you give yourself is a very good point.
Yeah.
Because this is it's a free way to give proof to yourself.
It is, yeah.
And it's much easier to do than a lot of people think.
Yeah.
Because it can just start with a walk.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone I know has got 2 legs. I know a few that don't, but I love them.
Yeah.
And they're great. That was so I don't get cancelled. Because I shouldn't have said that, but I covered my tracks well. Yeah.
We can just bleep that.
Yeah, we can just bleep that.
Where did you just finish on?
So, everyone who... Did she tell me that I need to get cancelled all of a sudden? All my comments. Gosh. Yeah, so most people can walk. That's not even great.
You don't even need to... Yeah. I think move on from that point.
Exercise is free. And it's a great way to confirm that you can do something difficult.
Yeah.
And whether it's going for a walk, whether it's going for a run, I mean, you can even do a slow run, and that's just affirming that you can do difficult things. And I think tied in with the point of doing it in the morning is a really, really good point, because it just starts the momentum for your day. Like, I know that when I would do a 10-kilometer run in the mornings, it's a good day.
David Goggins.
Not that much.
Yeah.
Not 100 kilometers in a day.
Yeah. Yes.
Yet. No, I won't get to that point.
No.
You'd see me jump off the scale.
No, that's unproductive.
Yeah, that is unproductive.
That is unproductive.
Although, it definitely does affirm a narrative.
Oh, for sure.
Although, the narrative can be affirmed in other ways that have more ROI.
Yeah.
Because doing a 100-kilometer run affirms that you can do hard things, but even doing a 20-kilometer, 30-kilometer run. And
I think that's the biggest thing and the reason we've got to this stage of how we know this is through what we've learnt through our football and through our training, is knowing that it isn't the important, like, what we got from football or the outcome from it, but how it made you feel when you did train, and like what it does for your mentality, for just like the evidence it gives yourself. It kind of gave us the narrative that we do work hard, that we are disciplined, and we now know that we need to keep training or keep that part of our lives to reaffirm that. Yeah,
100%. And to preface, if you do 100 kilometers, I won't judge you for it. Jack maybe will.
I will definitely judge you for it.
Because I've done a marathon. So, yeah. I'm sorry, Jack.
Should we bring a medal next time?
And that's why Jack hates people who do long runs.
No, I'm just jealous. I just can't even run.
Those knees aren't doing too well.
No, they're not. That's why they're off camera.
But yeah, no, I think definitely affirming, which is a good thing, because it's free. And I think that because it's become more rare that people exercise, like back in the day, and I wasn't there back in the day, but I think everyone had to.
Yeah.
You know, but now it's a luxury almost.
Yeah, it is. But the mental effect, I think, is too understated. A lot of people see that, they look at the outcome of what physical activity does, and they probably see gyms as intimidating, or they see it like, I need to be at this level of like my ideal self or whatever.
Yeah.
But the effects that it has, like on just like on your brain as well. They've done a study where finally I've switched on, right? Where the same effect in your brain as taking serotonin reuptake inhibitors, which are what you give for anxiety patients, right? If you dance in your backyard,
no way.
I'm not even joking, to music, it has the same effect on your brain as those drugs.
So if I flew a drone to your house and saw you dancing in your backyard,
it's been an anxiety-provoking day.
Yes, I'll know that I probably need to go visit Jack and dance in that garden with him.
No, but it's a good, like, it does seem absurd, but it is a good perspective that pretty much anything, because it's so absurd, like dancing in your backyard, but just movement in general, really does have a good positive impact.
That is a very good point. And the point that I think it can complement that is that that's free.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost anything. And the benefit that it does, and I think a lot of people do get caught in the trap of, if I start, I have to start with the perfect entry.
Yeah.
I have to start in the gym, but the gym's intimidating, so then I won't start at all.
Yeah.
Start with a walk. Build up to the gym. Then if you want to get any better, if the gym's doing it for you, if it's not, reevaluate.
Yeah.
But you're in the market.
Exactly.
It's easier to reposition yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got equity there.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's something that puts you in a very good position to actually move.
Yeah.
Rather than just be stuck. Where do I enter? Where do I enter?
Yeah.
Do I enter in the gym? Do I enter with the run club? And those types of things are also sources of accountability for people, because they don't believe that if they start something, they can stick with it.
Yeah.
Which I understand. If you don't think that you can start something without sticking to it, without external accountability, then maybe a gym is more suited for you. Maybe a run club is more suited for you. But you then have to realize that the only way you're ever going to start is with the perfect entry.
Yeah. And it's about taking your focus away from what you're doing to how it makes you feel, I think. It's not about how much did I lift, or how many laps did I do, or how many kilometers did I run. It's about how did I feel during doing it. And I think kind of we probably do the same thing, because we're competitive and we're very numbers focused too. Yeah. So we probably...
What's your recovery score? Oh, 91 today.
Yeah, not good. But yeah, taking that and almost taking the focus away from the numbers and thinking about how it makes you feel it positively reinforces you regardless of how your performance is. Because if you think, oh, I felt like this, and it's a bit of a different feeling, and you start noticing like the attentional bias of how it makes you feel positively, it will make you want to do it again and build that momentum. Definitely to start off.
Very good point for when you're starting.
Yeah,
because that's the gamification model as well.
Yeah,
it's reinforcement in the early stages.
Yeah,
because numbers can be intimidating for the early stages. So getting rid of the numbers at an early stage is actually better for gamification.
100%.
And then when you start being incentivized a little bit more and you start seeing correlations between how I feel and the numbers, that's when you can start to use numbers to reinforce positive behaviors.
Yeah.
Which is actually what we're doing in the SCULPTED app.
Yeah.
With the early stages of someone starting, where they actually won't be shown too many numbers at the beginning, because when they see too much, it's too intimidating.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where it's progressively feeding them more.
Yeah, exactly.
And incentivizing them to get further along so that they then have more
Yeah.
milestones that are actually further away.
And that's the thing, like, and that's the same level of progress from the start. Maybe you won't see numbers, but it's still like improving by 1%.
Yeah.
As opposed to when you've got all the access to the numbers and you're trying to improve by those tiny margins, it's still that same sort of focus of improving yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think, that's what physical exercise definitely gives.
Yeah. Now, talking about the other things that physical exercise gives, being, I think, a large part mental clarity.
Yes.
We both hate training in the moment.
Yes.
The worst thing. Or the worst thing.
Yeah.
Nothing worse.
Yeah.
Yet the feeling that we get afterward
Yeah.
is why we both keep going.
Yeah, 100%.
What would you say is the ultimate satisfaction that you get from physical exercise? Is it the feeling afterward? Is it your body aching? What's that for you?
It would be, it's the feeling after, and knowing that that's probably the hardest thing in my day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is, that's kind of the addictive part to it as well.
Yeah.
Because, and also before as well, the dread, that's probably the worst part, is the dread of knowing you've got a tough session and thinking, oh, goodness me. And it would be so easy not to, because definitely now we don't actually have to. But
we don't have to.
Back when we took football seriously, we probably did. And that's why we learnt to love it, trained ourselves to love it. But
for the love of the game. Very prevalent for us.
For the love of the game.
Oh, we love the game.
Yeah.
Football is life.
Yeah. For you, maybe. But yeah, no, and like overcoming that feeling, I think, and is the biggest part.
Yeah. Have you ever delayed a training session because of procrastination?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, really?
Probably all the time.
Really?
Well, not like hours, but obviously
delayed.
Yeah, it'll make me make my bed.
I'll
actually finally unpack the dishwasher just because I don't want to go run.
Oh, the dishwasher's empty.
Yeah.
Oh. I think that. Oh,
it must have had a hard training session. He's been doing his chores.
Yeah. Dishwasher needs to. That's a weird one.
Yeah.
I actually haven't delayed a training session before like that.
Ever.
I think there must have been a few times early on, like where I'm like, oh, I should do it this afternoon. But I would always be, start 9 a.m. We're starting at 9 a.m. In fact, we're starting at 8:55.
Yeah.
Maybe that's more of like a self-fulfilling narrative that I probably just felt obligated to fulfill.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm punctual.
So it's almost you need to not only do the session, but you need to do it on the time you've said to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't have the strict schedule. I don't have that many plans that I can just do this session whenever I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think either has a better outcome.
No, it's not.
Because it's very intangible as well.
Yeah.
Especially because you also would get really early to games. You would get always really early to training anyways.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a few subconscious things in our narratives to where maybe one or the other helps.
Yeah.
Because also, one thing that we probably don't speak about much is actually how a dissociation between results and effort is actually really important in football.
No, for sure.
Yeah, the more we train actually didn't have
has no correlation between success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as much as we probably knew that in the moment as well, we didn't know a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
So we'd rather be on the safe side.
Yeah. And it's a good life skill in general, I think. Being able to like have like that delayed like reward for your work. I think, it's humongous.
Yeah. Because we were actually, I believe that I was too dissociated.
Yeah.
To where, and I wrote this down the other day actually. I was talking about how like I got so dissociated that I didn't feel as if I was worthy of playing at a specific club. Like when I signed for Sydney FC, I was like, yeah, I'm not worthy of this.
Okay.
And I never believed I was, which is why I
It
explained
was
to you.
because your work was so dissociated from the outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I explained to you before. Remember how I said that I cried after I got released?
Yeah.
And that was in my head because I fulfilled the prophecy.
So it was like proof.
Yeah. That I was unworthy.
Yeah.
Because I explained to you how I had my first panic attack before the trial.
Yeah.
I then get into Sydney FC.
But that means you must have cared about the outcome.
I did. Which is...
But then, is that not a detrimental view? Because
Yeah.
it doesn't correlate with all the hard work that I'm doing is going to equal
Payoff.
payoff. So you didn't believe that.
Yeah, that's where I think I had...
Then why would you do all the work?
Well, I think I had too much of a dissociation.
Yeah.
To where it was like, I'm so unworthy of playing at such a good club.
Yeah.
That because I've just worked so much that I'm just so like stuck in the process of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That all of the tangible, measurable improvements don't matter.
Yeah.
And it was, a weird, like... I was also young at the time. 15, 16.
Yeah.
So I probably can cut myself a little bit of slack here.
Yeah, for sure.
But it does prove how, like, those types of narratives can be unhelpful.
But I was the opposite way, where
Okay.
I had it so ingrained that my hard work would directly correlate with the outcome.
Okay.
And so whenever there was proof that didn't happen, I was like, I mustn't be working hard enough.
Oh, yeah.
So then I'd just work myself into the ground even more.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
think, and there would be, and that could be not even directly, but if a subjective opinion told me that, oh, the outcome, I haven't got the outcome that I've wanted. I directly correlated that with I haven't worked hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so I needed to work hard because of some subjective opinion.
Okay.
So, and I think stripping that back to exercise is definitely when you're starting out. I think that's not a helpful schema to have at all.
Yeah, it's a good point. I went a little bit off topic, so thank you for bringing it back. How do I get onto talking about? Yeah, okay. The exercise part. I think that the moral of that story is how the narratives can be a hindrance sometimes.
Yes.
When you take it to a very, very extreme level.
Keeping the awareness that at the end of the day, regardless of what happens, the process of you exercising is the win.
Yeah, good point.
That is the biggest win. It's not about what you do. It's about doing the thing.
Yeah. Unless you want to become a competitive athlete, it's probably a different story.
Yeah.
To where, the dissociation, the numbers probably matter a little bit more.
Yeah.
But if you need the mental clarity to do so, start doing it.
Yeah.
Just start.
And like you said as well, once you create that positive momentum, the proof that you have to give yourself to earn that mental clarity may be, can I improve my numbers? Can I be better than I was a week ago? Can I be better than I was yesterday? And through numbers is a great way to track that.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Do you have any specific moments in your life where you could probably attribute exercise to direct mental clarity? It's kind of hard to remember moments.
Yeah. Definitely since studying, like taking academics more seriously, since I've stopped football, I always used to think of it as totally separate.
Okay.
Whereas when I was focusing on football, it would be that I can't do both. Whereas now I would say that they go hand in hand, and the skills that you have to work really hard physically, they interchange perfectly with mental clarity.
Yeah.
So before whether I have an exam, if I have a big day of study, I will always train.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that may be unproductive because could I keep studying? But for the mental clarity and the belief that it gives me that I've done everything and I'm in a good peace of mind to do well, I think that's the main thing. And they've shown that when participants who were from, I'm going to have to phrase this correctly, so you might have to cut this.
Yeah.
From, how would I phrase it? From not African, but black. How do I phrase that?
Opposite pigmentation to yourself and myself.
I'm not going to say that because the whole point is from that nationality.
Yeah. African nationality, because it's not really a nation.
Okay.
From the continent
When
of
they
Sub-Sahara.
You know how before an exam or a test, you might have to put your ethnicity?
Oh, yeah, that is a thing.
Yeah, ethnicity, right?
Ethnicity could be a shout, yeah.
So I've, like...
Ethnic diversity.
For participants who have to put their African ethnicity.
Yeah.
Yes? Is that okay?
I think that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And go, yes. And they've shown that for
It's all right.
That's the thing that I stuffed up.
Yep.
But they've shown that for participants who have to put or recognize that they were of the ethnicity of African before their exam, in an equally tough exam, they did worse if they had to identify as that before, because they had the schema that they weren't smart, or just because of that they weren't the type of person to do well. And in a weird way, exercise does the same thing. It almost gives you that belief. It shows that if you believe you're smart, regardless of whether you are, that delusion will help you in the long run. It will help you. Yeah. So I think that's sort of what gives that. My narrative is that exercise gives me mental clarity. So just by believing that, I think it does.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually remember that study now that you said it. I think I heard that in school, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
It is very aligned with the believe what's useful, not what's true.
Oh, for sure.
In that context, even if you can just start convincing yourself that this exercise is good for me, that's better than believing that it's unhelpful.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think general point blank statement, net positive to your life.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think you just kind of spoke about how exercise could be seen as unproductive. It's kind of slowing down to speed up a little bit.
Yeah.
And
yes, yeah, 100%.
I spoke about this with a recent guest that I did an episode with, and she was talking about how that relates in her life. For her, it's meditation.
Yeah.
I'd say that there's probably pretty similar things that you can get from meditation and exercise in terms of mental clarity, and it is slowing down to speed up, although I'd say exercise is like speeding up to speed up a little bit more, almost, just because like it is exerting, it's taking away a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas meditation is truly slowing.
But it's the longevity piece, isn't it? It's creating a sustainable lifestyle so that if you work yourself to death this week, next week it'll probably suffer because you might be sick. But it is slowing down or investing in your health so that in 30, 40 years you can have the same sort of lifestyle as you do now.
Yeah. And the longevity piece that is very prevalent is, I think, talking about how if you want a longer life, it's not by being a couch potato.
Yeah.
And that's really loud.
That is really loud. Maybe pause for a bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, I need to. After we do this point, I want to bring it back to, or maybe you can insert a piece into when we talk about like willpower and doing tough things.
Okay.
Because there's a part of the brain, AMCC, but I don't know what the AMCC stands for.
Anterior mid-cingulate cortex.
Perfect. You can say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that by doing tough things, that grows.
Yeah.
And they show that willpower, people who live longer have a
bigger AMCC. Yeah.
You know it.
I do not.
Oh, beauty. So, okay. I think that if we insert that part into that, it pretty much gives proof that what we're talking about is sort of real and we're not just making it up.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Quickly. Don't start yet. I need to take a drink.
Might fill up.
That's actually so therapeutic, that sound.
Do you listen to ASMR?
No.
Good. Otherwise, I would have asked you to politely leave.
Sorry, my OCD.
It's all good. Might just do that as well then. Symmetry. And actually, if we're really,
So, there's the 6. There's the 8.
At the 8. And then if we have the
10 free roam.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But he's a little bit off-centered.
No, but I feel like we need to attack the left side of them.
Oh, because I got the centre backs.
I need help. I actually need help. This is a problem.
I love how your brain even went there. Okay. So we'll go for the AMCC part, and then we'll talk about the longevity.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Oh wait, is longevity still on your mind?
Yeah, but we'll go back to longevity after the AMCC. Yep. I'll just write it down as a note, just so that we remember to go back to it.
Yep.
AMCC plus longevity.
And we can just cut straight back to the longevity thing. We don't have to transition to it, do we?
No, we can just go straight into it. And you can also go straight into the AMCC.
I don't know what it is. Anterior mid-cingulate cortex.
Yeah, do you want to say it or do you want me to say it?
You can say it.
Okay. If you
Preface
open it up,
okay,
and then you say,
Yep.
so the AMCC, and go, anterior mid-cingulate cortex? Like that?
sure
Right.
thing. And when we do speak about doing that tough thing and giving yourself the proof, they have shown that part of your brain, the AMCC,
Anterior mid-cingulate cortex.
well done.
Thank you.
It actually is directly correlated with growing when you do tough things.
Yeah.
And fMRI studies have shown when someone has had to do a challenging thing for them, whether that be go for a walk or go for a tough swim. And that will change because eventually, like we've spoken about, the training that we did 5 years ago might be easy for us now.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to always challenge yourself in physical exercise.
Yeah.
But they have shown that the AMCC does grow and it lights up when someone is doing something that they find difficult.
Yeah.
And then they've also shown that people who live longest, their AMCCs are how do I say it?
Very
You can
large.
say it. You can- yeah, they've shown that the AMCC of people who have lived longest
Yeah.
are larger than others, and it is directly correlated with willpower.
Yeah.
So that's direct proof that doing exercise and doing difficult things, proving to yourself,
Yeah.
has a direct impact on longevity.
I guess you could probably link that to general muscle as well.
Yeah,
It's just a muscle that you're growing.
yeah,
And I think that, I mean, can't quote me on this, but I think just through logical reasoning here, it'd be safe to say that the person, on their deathbed with more muscle than
Yeah.
less is probably going to be older.
yeah, probably.
Just
Yeah.
because people who have a bit more muscle
Yeah.
will probably have more.
And that's what
chances.
you're training by just doing the exercise, not by achieving the certain amount of reps or whatever. It's you're training that part of your brain, which is directly correlated with living longer and living happier.
Yeah. And the graph will be the older you are, the harder exercise gets.
Yeah.
Which means that the older you get, the less intense the exercise is
Yes.
also going to get.
Yes.
So you don't have to run a 20-kilometer run when you're 73.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe going just doing a bit of yoga is good
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Or whatever your grandma does.
Yeah.
And my grandma does yoga, I think.
Does she?
I think
That's
something
impressive.
yeah, she's pretty fit. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie. So doing those types of things when you are older, like going for a walk when you're 87, is a pretty big thing,
Yeah.
and that will still be growing your AMCC.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you are an 86-year-old listening to the podcast, firstly, thanks
Yeah.
for even understanding how to use YouTube,
And for learning off to young people.
who are telling you how to live your
I
life.
don't. Maybe you shouldn't listen to us. You probably know more than us. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I would say they would.
I would say we know more than the 86-year-olds.
Yeah, they've switched off now.
They've switched off. They've gone for a little bit of a nap. Well,
Yeah.
we've got very soothing voices
Siesta.
today. Siesta.
We all need one. Let's be honest.
Well, maybe this guy.
Some more than others.
Actually, yeah, you got the siesta like the 86-year-olds. You probably need it.
I do. I love a good nap.
I actually had a nap yesterday, bro.
Did you?
First nap in so long.
How long? Was
30
it?
minutes was lunch break.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where's my phone? I need to show you.
86-year-old things. Oh, God. It's literally like right here, isn't it?
Get your hands away from me, mate.
Jack doesn't like it when I do stuff like that.
Look, this is proof of my unbelievable ability to nap. My timer is on 35 minutes.
Why 35?
Because I need 3 minutes to get to sleep and 32-minute nap. I'm not even joking
Really?
with you. It will, and on my Whoop, it'll
Yeah.
literally say 32 minutes sleep. That's progressive overload.
That's
of
progressive
napping
over.
the
Yeah,
years.
fair play.
I don't know if that's going to stay in, but I just want
No,
to.
it's-
I just want to show off my unbelievable ability to nap.
It's useful.
You know how you were saying you're top 1%? The only thing I'm in the top 1% for is napping.
Napping.
How quickly I can
Yeah.
get to sleep.
You're a serial napper.
Yeah, definitely when you start speaking. My God.
Crazy. So back to the napping that I had yesterday.
Yeah.
My only point here is I hate the taste of naps. I've said this many times.
Taste of naps.
Yes. Can't convince me otherwise.
Taste.
The worst taste.
What do you mean taste of naps?
The aftertaste of a nap.
Really? You sure you just haven't brushed your teeth?
Yeah, it feels like I've just slept for 12 hours after a nap.
Yeah, you feel a bit groggy.
Yeah,
But that's why you need to train your way out of it. I don't get that feeling anymore.
When you were first starting off, you were pushing 20s, and then you went to the 60s, 70s, and finally got there and you don't have aftertaste?
No.
You still got a little bit of aftertaste?
Sometimes. Depends what mood I'm in. I get real hangry after a nap.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
But maybe I don't fast where my last meal's at 11 a.m.
Well, yesterday I was at 10 a.m. So
Wow.
yeah, early mornings.
That's why you're going to be driving a Lamborghini soon, huh?
Yeah, I'll be laughing with my.
How the hell
empty
have we
Macca's bag.
digressed so far?
It's great. That's why the people are listening. Not for the stuff we say, but it's for the stuff we don't say.
For the stuff we don't say?
Well, the stuff that's irrelevant. It's for these moments. Okay, so talking about longevity. We kind of spoke about how the AMCC does help with longevity.
Yeah.
It's a muscle. Grow it. And I think longevity correlates with quality of life as well, because you don't want to just have a long life and have it be painful.
Yeah.
You want it to be a good life.
Yeah.
Because you can be in a iron lung for 80 years.
Yeah.
Have a very long life, longer than the average person, but your quality of life's
100%.
not great.
Yeah. And that's the thing. They say that with your equilibrium in your ears, if you are to fall not by tripping over something, obviously, but if you are to have a fall, it's a great indication that next 10 years you probably will die.
Really?
Yeah. You've got a greater chance of dying.
My ankle ability is not great, and I fall a little bit here and there.
But it's the sort of, that's why, like, and they say that weight training for older people is so important. It's not about how much you lift, but it's about doing that resistance training so that when eventually your equilibrium does go, you've got the strength in your joints and your muscles to be able to not fall and obviously not die.
So if I'm 93 years old
and you haven't fallen yet,
I'm
going to push you over.
That's a clip. That's a clip. That's funny.
You get this guy to stop yapping.
Oh my gosh, that's a great reference.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that one. So, okay, I really don't want to
true.
fall. As soon as I fall, I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, I know. How crazy is that, though?
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah.
You don't want to be falling at 23.
No, not at all. I'm not falling.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
2 hours of sleep. You're on your way.
Yeah. Falling. Cut that.
Cut that. Yeah, that's a cut.
Good man. Thank
Commission
you.
3 cut. Because I've learned that we can't reference any ejects.
No. Yeah, no. Definitely not.
And that's also cut.
That's also cut. Yeah. God, compared to you, I seem like some degenerate. Compared to my other friends, I'm literally like
the innocent one.
I'm literally Goggins.
Yeah.
And compared to you, I feel like a degenerate. Maybe it's your problem. You make people feel crap for enjoying their lives. You're such a mean person. Can't wait to push you over when you're 93.
Oh gosh. You watch me as well catch myself. You actually on the camera? We'll do it like this.
Oh my goodness, man.
Okay, let's get it. On camera. You push me over?
Will they be able to hear you?
That's what I'm gonna do.
I feel like your form could improve.
Really?
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh look, now I've really that's fed into your ideology. Now that I've
Shut up, again. Oh, really bad. Tell me I'm bad again.
You're terrible.
Put it on a LinkedIn post.
Now you're gonna do an unproductive workout, just practicing push-ups for the next. That's all right, me and you both.
It's shameful to admit. Oh gosh, I love life.
I wish I did. Don't you reckon the worst part of sleep is waking up?
No.
No?
I hate sleep.
You're actually a psychopath, bro. As if you don't like sleep.
Sleep is, to me, the worst thing. Every time that I go to bed, I'm like, oh, why?
What?
I hate sleep, bro.
Oh, it's so cozy.
Yeah, you do love coziness.
I do love coziness. Hostage or not.
Do hostages get too cozy?
No, it's nice to be held.
I think you did say that before, actually, yeah.
Yeah. It's a good point, though, no?
I can't say that I've been hostage before or wanted
or held.
Yeah, or held. But But you could
How
ask...
the hell did we get onto this?
Well, yeah.
Okay, should we just
Great.
talk about longevity? So,
Yeah. Longevity.
what's our point for longevity? Okay, let's try stay focused.
Yeah, let's try to stay focused.
You need to take a lead on today, please.
Okay, so there's been electricity problems in here, so that's why there's been a few cuts.
Yes. Yeah.
So longevity.
Cut to you trying to do push-ups over there. Yeah, you look small in the camera. That's why you're trying to get a pump there. Drowning in that shirt. Drowning.
I'm not gonna lie, it's not great. I actually had to get a medium. I'm normally a large.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good. Almost competition ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So. No, definitely not. Okay, so longevity. I think the direct correlation between physical health and longevity is firstly the quality of life. That kind of like lies in between, because the example of you don't want to be an iron lung and living 80 years of your life. You'd rather be at least walking.
Yeah.
No, it's alright. I'm not gonna say it. Control.
Good.
Yeah, just like remember when I was at 1 o'clock when I said 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna go for.
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah, but it was just not. But I didn't say it, and they don't know.
I
What
thought we
about.
literally tried to stay focused about 15 seconds ago, and you've already got this. It's infectious. Cut that too.
Yeah, got that. Oh gosh.
I think I've got a point.
Okay.
Come on, monkey banging his cymbals. Wakey, wakey.
Speaking of getting distracted.
No, but they've done so many studies where they've shown that someone's metabolic age at 80 can be younger than they had when they were 50. So it is, and that means that they'll live longer and their quality of life would be better.
Yes.
It's not just, you don't have to, it's not a given that when you age, your quality of life and how you feel gets worse. There are protocols that you can, and that's why I think Andrew Huberman is so popular and why his work has resonated so much, is because there are, he's linked between like how your body, your mind actually changes and the practical implications of that and what you can do to change it. And I think knowing that just by like trying to improve and like you said, getting your foot in the door and just starting, you can live a better life and a higher quality of life at 80 than you did when you were 50.
Yeah. Which should give people hope as well. Yeah. Because it's like...
That's all the motivation you need, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you could, and not that this is advice, but you could have a very poor past, you could say, and still make the most of it.
Yeah.
Now, it's not going to be as good as the person who's never done anything in their life.
No, but then again, David Goggins.
Yeah, but I would say David Goggins' life is probably...
What?
Suppressed because of...
What do you mean suppressed?
I would say like... One, because he overdoes it a little bit.
Oh yeah, his dealing mechanisms are very flawed.
His vice isn't great.
And I'm happy for him to call me out for saying that. He's not a good role model for that. That's not how you process. That's not how you process your emotions, buddy.
Because he's processing more than emotions. He's processing.
Oh my good lord, he's running away from something.
Yeah, he's
on,
toes
on broken shins.
Pray for him. I don't know what he's going through.
Because I don't think his metabolic age at 80 will be that good.
Yeah.
Whereas and that's where it can be detrimental.
That's what I was.
His AMCC is probably humongous.
Humongous, yeah.
Yeah, but pause.
But
What do you mean by that?
But yeah, I think that like how his body would feel and how his quality of life will be when he gets older, I think maybe takes away from the whole point of doing exercise.
Yeah, and he's a very, very rare case, right? Like,
if you're only starting out, that's not an excuse to not exercise. Is like, I don't want to be David Goggins. I better not exercise.
And that's a very, very prevalent topic when it's like, I don't want to go to the gym because I don't want to get too big.
Yeah.
You're not going to get too big.
Yeah. Evidently.
I've only been going for 3 weeks. Relax.
Cut to the push-ups.
That's what I'm going to do. Okay, if I had horrible form, that's a different story. But how do we go there? Longevity.
I feel like we've made enough points on longevity, surely.
Yeah, I think we have.
If you don't get it by now, it's good for longevity.
It's good.
I found this on the web.
Longevity.
Even Siri's understanding.
Okay.
What did Siri say? Tell us.
I found longevity on the web. Longevity definition and meaning. 5 days ago. The meaning of longevity is a long duration of individual life. How to use longevity in a sentence. Oh, my Apple Watch just died. Okay.
Fail to prepare to fail.
Oh, just not very good longevity there.
Yeah. Wow, good pun. Yeah, good work.
Thank you. Okay, longevity. I think we touched enough there. Pause. Sorry, it's just. Oh no, I accidentally did the audio recording. If you take your. Okay, sorry. Yeah, give me a sec.
I thought we've got 57 minutes. That's pretty good. Yeah. And out of all the cuts, we probably have 50 minutes of it.
No, it's about 40 because I started 10 minutes before.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, before we actually did the official cut. So I reckon we can just go for 5 minutes.
Okay. What are we going to talk about?
Quality life.
Can I just sit here while you speak?
Also, before you go, I actually do think you probably should have a nap.
Why?
I don't want you to die.
No, I usually have a nap on the motorway home. That was my routine at the Mariners.
Been there.
I'll just have another coffee. Oh,
You had a coffee in your car, didn't you?
That was from yesterday.
Oh, okay. I thought
It could never be me. I don't have coffee past 12 p.m. Shut up, whoop.
Oh, gosh,
You whoopy fuck.
Yeah, well...
Whoa.
Yeah,
that was mean, sorry.
Yeah, it was me.
I apologise.
And also, it comes from a point of jealousy, I think, Jack.
Does it?
Yeah, because your whip score sucks, quite honestly.
I beat you yesterday.
One day. The exception doesn't make the rule, because the day before
You're only as good as your last day.
Okay, so then I'm 91.
You're 91.
Journalist.
But what's your fun score? Percentage score?
Oh, I thought you said fund.
Fund. No.
Fund.
No,
My fund
I'm
score-
losing on that too. I'm poor as for cuck. None of this is going in, let's be honest.
Yeah. This is BTS still.
Imagine if we had a behind the scenes. We'd have so much content.
Oh, no, that's actually part of the Sculpted app, by the way. I actually do want to make that a thing.
Oh, so I'm...
Then you can start getting paid.
God.
That's how we start getting paid.
But then I'm not even going to be able to say cancelable stuff behind the scenes.
That is a good point. There's
So
gonna have to be a
where's
BTS to
where's the yeah, exactly. Where's the behind the paywall cancelable
Rumble.
Oh my god. Imagine the amount of content if the behind the scenes has to be able to be in the scenes.
Yeah. Oh gosh. We're gonna have to edit the behind the scenes.
Maybe you just get a new co-host.
No, I think an editor would be great.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Just you do it.
I just got lightheaded for a reason there. I don't know why.
Lights.
Camera. Action.
Great point. We are so far off topic.
It's almost an hour. I can't wait until it ticks to an hour.
The symbols. The symbols.
I need help. I need to show you a photo after of you know what Yochi is now, right?
Well, I believe so.
Yeah, Yochi.
Yeah.
They have a colouring competition at Bondi.
Oh yeah.
And I took the colouring competition while my friends were eating Yochi.
Yeah.
And I sat on the floor in Bondi colouring in.
Ooh.
It's $100,000 prize. Obviously, I'm going to do it.
Obviously. I did that 7,000 times.
Yeah, so I was colouring in my little colouring competition. Yeah. It may be the most photo to ever exist.
Okay.
And then you have to put your details. I put Jack McLaughlin, age 7. Because they're not going to give the winners to a 23-year-old child.
Legally, they have to give the winner to someone above 18, though.
No, but my parents will just join me when I collect my prize.
Okay. Mammy, holding their...
Yep. Yeah, exactly right.
Is this the 7-year-old?
I identify as a 7-year-old.
And that can make the cut.
Can?
I think so.
Really?
No, actually.
Probably. Maybe behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, the behind the scenes.
We'll have to do a disclaimer at the start of the behind the scenes that all of this is meant as a joke.
Like we do on all of our WhatsApp.
Yeah. Hope that never gets leaked.
And then if that gets
no,
leaked,
I'll have to be on Riverside in prison.
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking it would get there. I think it would be
execution. No?
No, it could be actually.
I actually think I'd be executed.
Yeah, North Korea probably wouldn't appreciate us.
Kim Jong-un, he's a good man.
Actually, we might be on the side of Kim Jong-un.
I think we are.
I'm just thinking, we are so far off.
Oh my god.
What do I do with this footage? I don't know.
No, we've got enough great bites, I think.
Yeah, I do. But this footage here, I don't know what I do. Do I archive this?
I'll post it on my LinkedIn.
There we go.
It's a good reflection of me.
Yeah, great reflection. You'll get 0 jobs. gosh.
In the same position I am now, right?
Great point.
Exactly.
Okay, I think we can just wrap it up there.
Yeah?
Yeah, bro.
No, you said well-being.
Quality of life.
Quality of life.
Okay.
We've spoken about quality of life.
Yeah.
No, let's talk about a challenge or some physical activity challenge, I think.
Okay. For homework.
Yeah. Or that we are going to adopt in our lives.
Okay. Well, we did kind of speak about this, how I think most of the stuff that we prescribe we probably already do, which is a good thing.
Yes.
But let's talk about having people now who maybe haven't started.
Yeah.
If you haven't started to do any physical exercise and you're in that moment of analysis paralysis,
yeah,
what's one thing that you think that they can start to do?
I think write down. Well, I think sort of reflect on what you wouldn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So whether that be go to the gym or go for a run, and then cut that in half.
Okay.
So see half of that task.
Yeah.
And maybe do half of it or do a quarter of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then journal that. Keep track of that, because then once you in 2 weeks slowly build up from there, and then you realize that 2 weeks ago that was tough for me, but now look where I am.
Yeah.
That sort of that feeling of progression, it positively reinforces that behavior.
There's a story about a guy who was finding it tough to go to the gym, and he started off by making a non-negotiable just to enter the gym. He'd go for 1 minute.
Yeah.
Just to scan the card and leave.
Yeah.
Do that for a week.
Yeah.
If it's literally so difficult for you,
yeah,
make it so easy that there's no excuse not to.
Yeah.
And progressively, it may take a month to even get any progress, but going from 1 minute to 20 minutes is much better than going from nothing to nothing.
Or going from an hour to 5 minutes. You don't want to go out there and do the thing that was really difficult and then be negatively reinforced and be like, I felt terrible.
Yeah.
I thought I was embarrassed. I embarrassed myself, and then never do it again.
Yeah.
And I think, but it can be, if you go in for 1 minute, you probably do feel a bit embarrassed. That's a bit shameful, but it's where you put your attention, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I think writing it down and reflecting on that is so important. It's irrelevant what you're actually doing, but putting your focus on the progression that you're making.
Yeah.
For your AMCC, for just longevity in life, I think it puts you on the right path.
Yeah. So for the takeaway of action, just start small.
Exactly.
Start so small that you have no excuse not to.
Yeah.
A philosophy that is very much emphasized by this podcast when I started to first do it. I made it just so easy for me to... Do you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
If you hadn't mentioned it, you could have kept rolling.
Yeah, but we don't do that around here.
we addressed the elephant in the room.
We addressed the elephant in the room. They probably didn't even see it.
No, they wouldn't have.
So make it so easy that you have no option but to.
Yeah.
Like, it costs nothing to go for a run. It costs nothing to go for a walk. Do it on your lunch break. Eat whilst you're doing it. Watch a funny video whilst you're doing it. That's actually one thing that I would always do. If I really found it difficult to actually train, I'm not going to lie, I'd probably put on a bit of like a Bobby Lee podcast song.
Yeah.
You know, just hearing
Well, it's true. It's what you associate with, right?
Yeah.
That's why people get addicted to the gym, because they either get to listen to music or they see it as mentally free. And it's, that feeling. It is, like we spoke about, it's how the exercise makes you feel as opposed to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe part of how, when you do journal about what you did achieve and what was really difficult and you still did it, how did it make you feel too?
Yeah.
And then reflecting on that and seeing the progress, the more detail you can do with that is better.
Yeah, 100%. Actually, I think reflection is a very good extension to exercise.
Yeah.
And it could be the thing before the exercise, as you kind of said, to where just reflecting on the feeling around it is just so helpful for awareness.
Yeah.
Past 2 nights, I've been I kid you not, an hour in my journal.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It feels so good. That's how on my trip to Queensland, that's literally why I went.
Yeah.
Is to pretty much do that.
So you got a book just of journaling now?
No, I've got 2 books actually for 2 different topics.
Okay.
But it gives you such a feeling of control over your life, but in a good way. Not in a way where I need to control everything, but almost a recognition of this is where I'm at and where you can move forward. Because it is, coming to terms with things.
Controlling the controllables.
Yeah.
And being okay with not controlling everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good point. I think that's kind of it from
Good
my
place to end
perspective.
on, I think.
Yeah. I think that's good. It probably puts us in a good position to start on the newsletters as well.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't subscribed to the newsletter on LinkedIn or just normal email, make sure you do so.
Yes.
Because we've got some pretty insightful things there. A bit of homework as well. Jack is doing all of the statistics, the writings, everything like that, and I'm doing the designs. So, as I prefaced in the last episode,
Yeah.
it will look nice. It will be informative. Take it with a grain of salt. Just because it looks nice, it doesn't mean that it's right.
Yeah.
It's right in our eyes, but we also don't believe anything's right.
Yeah.
So if it's 99.5% there, still
Yeah.
0.5% not.
A lot of improvement, right? Room for improvement.
Room for improvement. Almost perfect. Is that what we're saying?
Almost perfect. Yeah. Almost.
We're not self-centered.
Perfect subjective, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In our eyes, we are. But yeah, make sure you do subscribe. That's going to be really, really helpful, I think. Hopefully it's helpful for you guys. I think that's
because we find it helpful too. Being
Yes.
able to reflect on, and we do the same thing. We reflect on what we say,
Yeah.
what we learn about, and for our own lives too.
Yeah.
I think just like being able to do that exercise is, it's very beneficial.
And one thing to add to that as well is that it very much helps with self-awareness. And I think Jack and I are both the type of people to admit we'd like to think we're self-aware, but are aware of how unaware we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I'd like to think I'm more self-aware than the average person, but me even thinking that I'm more self-aware than the average person is unaware.
Yeah, probably.
Because I don't know anything about my blind
No,
spots.
but we believe that, you believe what's useful, right? But that's a good thing. That you are sacrificing things that may actually be true
Yes.
in your, like, the way we live our lives. But with awareness, you can sort of acknowledge that what you're choosing to believe and what you're choosing to behave, or how you're choosing to behave, serves you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. With that in mind, I think that's the episode done.
Perfect.
Very, very good episode. This is hopefully not the last episode we do in person for a while.
Yeah, hopefully not.
There's been no progress on...
Okay, good.
Well, I'd like it.
Good for me.
Yeah.
Good for me. I get to see your beautiful face a bit more.
Stop it.
And cut.
But yeah, no, that's we'll see where we go. Hopefully, I mean, it'd be nice to do these more
I
regularly.
know. Maybe you can fly me out to
The land of the free.
Antarctica,
Antarctica, yeah, correct.
where you're moving.
Where I'm
With
moving.
Santa's little... Oh, no, that's the North
Yeah,
Pole,
it's
isn't
North
it?
Pole. With the penguins.
I thought you'd be good at making some toys for Santa.
Why is that?
I don't know. You've got nice hands.
Yeah.
Your words, not mine.
Did I say that?
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
I do. If anyone's interested in hand modeling, please reach out to my agent, Peter Kraus, I think his name is.
Peter Kraus.
Yeah. This is my agent, hand model agent.
Really?
Yeah.
No, reach out to me. I'll be your hand model agent. I was the one hyping up your hands just then.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Jack's my agent.
Yeah.
Jack McLaughlin at sculpted.site.
Yes.
Your email.
Yes. Correct.
I should actually make that your email and just see the requests that we get. It's like Nivea Men's.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, it's actually Nivea Men's. If you're looking for a hand model, we got some good hands.
Why would Nivea Men's be listening to this? Maybe someone who works at Nivea
Yeah, that's
Men's.
what I was thinking.
Because
Yeah.
it's definitely a sculpted brand,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Not sponsored,
Not sponsored.
but if you wanted to get in touch,
Yeah.
the email you said before.
Actually, wait. If we're being serious, the correct email is actually business@sculpted.site.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That one. Imagine if it's actually.
Well, why did you say the false one before? Say the business@sculpted.site
Yeah.
and then put that in.
Yeah. That's what we'll do. Oh gosh, that's funny. That's actually a good bit. All
Yeah.
right. That's us done though. That's us done.
So all our rambling when we go off topic, it sometimes gets bits like absolute gems, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
But I feel like it makes us cook a bit more authentically, right?
I think so.
It makes us explain things in ways that we would explain it to each other, as opposed to trying to make it so covered up that like.
I think do you listen to many Andrew Huberman episodes?
Yeah.
Okay, see, I find it pretty difficult to listen to him.
You have to eat like
Focus.
and it has to be like 10-minute bits. Like
Yes.
I know that I need to be like listening. Yeah.
Listening is,
It's so intense, so heavily like dense, right?
Yes.
That's why I think Sculpted is like the whole point of Sculpted as well is giving practical, like having the knowledge,
Yeah.
but practical ways you can do that for your life.
Yes.
And I think if the focus is always on here's the information, but how do you actually change things?
Yeah.
I think that's easily digestible, right?
Digestible is the key. Like, as much as we have like a few moments we might have to cut,
Yeah.
I think just having the funny moments in there
I know.
is like just a bit
Yeah.
of an ease.
No, and it's more enjoyable for us too.
It is more
Yeah.
enjoyable for us.
And it lets my banging cymbal monkeys have a little break.
Yeah. And you know what? Conveniently enough, it's like every 15 minutes, which works pretty well.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing interval training. My brain's working in intervals.
Yeah. Oh, God. Brilliant. That's funny. Okay.
Perfect.
That's definitely time to cut.
Cut. Beauty.
Cut. What an episode.
What do I press?